Hi, everybody. I'm Jamie Spencer from Miss Jamie OT, and I'm so excited tonight to bring you this video. I have a big giveaway going, but first I want to just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an occupational therapist working in a school-based setting, and I've been working with children for about 20 years. And the reason I started my blog was because I'm really passionate about helping grown-ups to help their kids. So I love to give tips and tricks and strategies to parents and teachers and therapists to help their children be a little bit more independent. So, as we know, we're all like very stressed out and stuck at home with COVID 19. And I've been hearing from so many of my readers, my VIPs, that, they're struggling for resources and that they need ideas. And I just wanted to do something to give back. And so tonight I'm excited to announce a great giveaway of WooTape. And so I have the inventor of WooTape here. Her name is Meghan Fox, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Meghan, and I am also a school-based therapist. I've been practicing for about 12 years now, 10 of those being in school-based, and I love working with little kiddos and problem solving and just helping them be their best selves. So, yeah.
Me too. I think all OTs feel that way, don't you?
Totally. That's why we're so collaborative too. It's like, I can't solve this problem. And so I just love that we can all work together.
Yes. So we're here for an amazing giveaway of WooTape, but tell us what WooTape is. For anyone who doesn't know what it is, can you explain it?
Yeah, absolutely. So WooTape is an adaptive handwriting tape that can literally be placed on any worksheet, a craft, a surface. I like to put it on the wall sometimes because different walls, like some of those bulletin board walls, give different feedback. So it's just very versatile and a way to help kids with their sizing, their placement, and their proportions. There's 3 different styles. So this is the first one. Well, it's actually WooTape number 3 because there's 3 different colors.
Okay. So what grade would that be? What age?
If your child is already starting to write, I use it a lot in a preppy K kind of setting in kindergarten. And then after that, teachers tend to want their kids to start sizing down a little bit. But I feel like this is a good starter for around 5 years old.
And it's probably like wonderful for special education students that are older, that are really struggling to write, that are very delayed. I would think that would be amazing for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a 3rd or 4th grader who this is wonderful for. And I know a lot of us use the analogy of like, the blue's the sky, green's the grass, get your legs to sit on the grass. So that helps. That analogy kind of carries over. And what I love about this is it helps bridge that generalization. Like, all the kids can do it when they're one-on-one in OT setting, and then you get them into a classroom and they kind of fall apart.
Right.
So this is so easy to just peel and then tear however much you need and place it on their worksheets.
So that tears really easily. I'll bet the kids can actually do it themselves most of the time.
I have a lot of kids that can, yeah.
That's
and
really
it's
cool.
even I'm looking into getting some tape dispensers to kind of sell with them. But any tape dispenser you have at home, that kind of gives them a little something more to hold on to, and that those little teeth to rip it off. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what was your main reason for inventing WooTape? What made you get this like fire in your mind and this passion that you had to invent this?
Okay, so there's a lot of activities, but even more recently, this huge explosion of TPT sellers, which they're amazing. They have such great resources. And
TPT is teachers pay teachers, for those who don't know. They have a lot of good worksheets and stuff that everybody
awesome supplemental worksheets to go with the curriculum that kids are doing. But a lot of teachers don't really look at the things they're creating from a special ed lens necessarily.
Right.
So I was getting so many teachers saying, oh, this kid, he writes curved, he writes off the line, it's so big. Every time they'd want me to come into the classroom and give some strategies. And the very first thing I look at the paper, there's no visual boundaries. So I was like, What's an
So
easy way?
yeah, if there's no lines on the paper, how do we expect the child to stay within a set space or to know to do like a tall letter and a small letter?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So that was it. You were like, I'm inventing something to make this easier for
How can I
everybody.
make it easier for teachers to give
Yeah.
the kids the appropriate visual boundaries? Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's so easy because all they have to do is come over and give a tiny piece of tape and it's over. And I'm
Yep.
sure
And
that they don't need to do that for every student, but for those few students who need it,
exactly.
very cool. I
Yeah.
would actually picture like I know some teachers who are so resourceful and amazing that they would probably have the tape dispenser in a certain spot in the classroom that the kids can go up and get it if they
Okay.
want.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I am a huge idea person too. I always am like thinking of these great things. We should invent this. We should invent that. What is the first step? Like, what do you do when you have this great invention idea? How do you do? Like, how do you bring it to fruition?
Well, the very first thing is it's so hard not to want to tell someone because if you think you have this great idea, like,
Yeah.
you know, your intellectual property. So I did have to tell someone and just kind of verify to get that justification, like it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing I very next did was research. Like, does this something like this already exist? Because you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of trying to invent something that is already out there. So
Yeah.
it didn't exist. So then I just kind of said, well, what's the most similar thing to this? And kind of worked from there. And
Yeah.
who do I need to contact? And can I get samples? And so
That's
and I
great.
started a little design book, idea book, and like, this is exactly what I want it to look like and do. And so it's very exciting.
How long did it take you from the idea to having it ready to sell?
Okay. So I probably honestly sat on the idea for 9 to 12 months because I had a newborn and a 2-year-old and like, what am I doing right now? I can't
Yeah.
even think about it. So then from actually going for it, literally not that long because I was like, I'm just doing it. So
Yeah.
probably 2 months from the time I started contacting.
Really? 2 months? That's like nothing.
I know.
Oh, I'm so shocked. So the biggest problem was that you sat on the idea, but life got in the way and
Totally.
your family, which of course comes
Yeah.
first. But I think a lot of people sit on an idea without those reasons, you know, just because they're like, oh, I don't know. And it's
Well,
just like,
yeah.
just do it. Just do it. Think of how many people it would help. That's so cool. I love
Well, and
it.
the thing is, so I think then the other thing that paralyzed me was like, I don't know what it's like to run a business or what this step or that step is, but you take
Yeah.
the first step is the thing. So
hmm
just,
And everything you learn, it's like you then have to start doing it. So then you know it. And then you learn the next thing and you're
yeah.
doing it. So you know that too. And all of a sudden you're giving other people advice, right?
Yes.
Like me, like right now, I'm asking you all these things like that. I think that's so cool.
I
But
think you're going to invent something with all those ideas
I have some things half done.
working on up
Yeah,
there.
that's me all the time. Um, so the one thing I want to talk about though is when should we really be expecting kids to write with capital and lowercase letters with appropriate sizing? Because like for me, I push into kindergartens a lot. I spend a lot of time in kindergarten and first grade, and I have so many teachers who will refer me to a student and say, "Oh, look at this one. He keeps writing his letters in all capitals." And and they know what I'm going to say because I have a good relationship with them. I've been working with them for years, and I'm like, that's developmentally appropriate. Like it is okay for kids who are 5 years old to write, number one, with everything in the same size, and number two, everything in capital because it's easier for them. Developmentally, they're able to make straight lines, they're able to make circles, and capitals are all just kind of straight rather than the lowercase, which takes so much more fine motor manipulation. And, you know, so I had looked it up and it said that children who are 5 years old and 7 months should be able to print their name in upper or lowercase letters, upper or lowercase letters.
Mhm.
So, and I think about 5.7 is like that's the end of kindergarten for a lot of children. And meanwhile, when they come into kindergarten, the first thing that they see is or hear is that they need to write a capital. You know, the first letter is capital and the rest are lowercase. And it's hard because that's not really what their body is supposed to be doing at this age.
I agree. And kindergarten is like the age where I see that big gap because, you know, before then, if kids are writing their names, it's probably more an intrinsic motivation. They just, oh, my son, he's always like, my name starts with K. And so he is always wanting to write it. But then you get to kindergarten and every single paper that gets passed out to them needs their name on it so the teacher can grade it. And I worry sometimes about how quick the curriculum goes and what kind of time is left for direct handwriting instruction.
Yeah.
Because in kindergarten, they're going to keep writing their name over and over on every paper. If they're not doing it right, they're never going to learn it the correct way.
I once had a kindergarten teacher, and it was so funny because I love this teacher. She's really like just such a great teacher and everything, but she's very like, this is how it is in her classroom. And it's so funny because I'm kind of like, well, no, this is how it is really. But we had this one little girl and her name was Annabelle. So that's what capital A and then two N's and then an A, or Annabella. And then there was two lowercase A's at the end or whatever. So I had this little handout that I was making for kids who weren't writing their letters with the correct formations. And it was just like a, dear parents, you know, just FYI, you know, please tell your children to start this letter at the top. And I said to the teacher, like, I'm going to send this home to Annabella's mom. And the teacher was like, well, but she's only in kindergarten. And I'm like, that's so funny because developmentally, you're right. She shouldn't really, you know, but she's expected to write her name like 12 times a day. And you want a capital first letter and all lowercase letters on the bottom. So then I think that we should at least let the parents know like how to carry through.
Right.
And I know the teacher was just like, she's in kindergarten. I was like, I completely agree with you 100%, but it's not right. The way she's doing it isn't correct. And she's going to be doing it this way for the rest of her life because now she's doing it 12 times a day, writing her name on the top of every single thing that's handed out and writing them incorrectly, writing her A's. She's doing like a circle and a long, like a ball and a stick.
Yeah.
And, you know, so many children do. And developmentally, it is appropriate, but we're trying to kind of move developmental expectations down or up or, you know,
the wrong direction, whatever.
Yeah. So it's just a hard catch-22 for teachers and for therapists and for parents who just want their kids to be kids and be able to come home and play. And now they've got to practice how to form lowercase letters properly when it's really not developmentally appropriate, but it is what the curriculum expects. So you don't want your child to fall behind.
Right.
So I think what attracted me to WooTape was that you kind of are like bridging the gap. So if there's worksheets and Venn diagrams or anything that has no lines on it, they just put this there and now the child has those visual cues.
Yeah. And I try to stress this to my kindergarten teachers that I work with. Like, I didn't even get to show you the other types, but even if you just peel this off and put it on the name line before you Xerox anything.
Right.
Well, you know, it wouldn't have the colors, but at least it would provide a top line and a midline and a baseline.
Yeah.
Instead of just that baseline with that large all the way to the edge of the paper.
Yeah. I find my children that get OT that have handwriting issues, the older kids, especially like 3rd, 4th grade, they're always doing like compare and contrast worksheets. And they have that little like spot in the middle where they're supposed to be writing.
Tiny.
And it's all just like smushed in and you can't read anything. And it's upsetting for them because they're working hard on this and they want to do well. And it just looks like a mess.
Right. Yeah. Cringeworthy.
Because those worksheets don't ever have lines or almost ever have lines.
Right. I rarely see it.
And even if they do have lines, they're just straight lines like loose leaf. It's not the dotted lines that sometimes our kids need to really make sure that their tall letters are tall and their small letters are small.
I think that midline provides so much extra visual support that people don't recognize.
Right. So can you show us the other? I think you had said you had 3 sizes, right?
Okay. So yeah, the first one I showed you was the 3, which I would start with the younger kids.
Okay.
This is WooTape 2. So blue mid and top line, and then the red kind of is to draw their visual attention to where their letters should sit. I recommend this for like early to mid first, all the way through like third grade. These are like gen ed students. And then beyond that, any special ed kid. And then the last one is just black. So this is WooTape 1. And this is pretty similar to a wide ruled notebook paper, the amount of space you have to write. But like I said, it provides that midline that helps kids organize their sizing.
And I think sometimes too, like for those older kids, they're starting to learn cursive. So now it's a whole new font that they're learning with these motor skills, and they've got to also size correctly. So to not have those visual cues is really like a challenge.
Agreed. Yeah.
So can you tell us the dimensions in inches on those tapes? Because I have someone asking a question about that. Do you know how big they are?
Yeah, it's on the website. Let me just pull that up. I should know it off the top of my head. Okay. So, I know it in millimeters actually.
Okay.
So 12 millimeters. So I'm guessing the space to write is more like 10.
Okay.
This one's 15 millimeters.
Perfect.
And then 20.
Okay. So that, to me, that last one that you just showed me really looks like very traditional kindergarten paper, right? So it's probably like an inch.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the giveaway. I'm so excited about this. So you and I had talked, and you contacted me and you said that you wanted to do something for all the therapists and parents and teachers out there that are struggling with what's going on with COVID, and that you wanted to do a giveaway. And I totally agreed with you. And I said, whatever you're willing to donate, I'll match. Yep. So because of that, we have two $50 gift certificate prizes and two $25 gift certificate prizes. So I'm really, awesome. Yeah. So let me just post where everyone can go to get there.
There it is.
You can enter to win. Right now, we just did, I just posted a blog post that Meghan wrote for me about different ways to use WooTape. So Meghan, can you tell us 2 different ways to use WooTape? And then everybody can go to the site to see the rest.
Yeah. So we did talk about, and I just can't even drive it home enough. Literally putting it on the name line is my favorite thing. And I know.
Especially for kindergarten. Oh, for those kindergarten and preschool.
Yes.
I hate to say it, but that's what we're expecting of our preschool kids.
I know.
Yeah. So that's wonderful. Okay.
And then a new one. Well, okay, I'll give a bonus after. Let's see. My other favorite thing is all the science type of lessons that are done where you want them to label the parts of the flower. Here's the petals and the stem and the leaf and the roots. Just putting it on simply right next to where you want them to write it. So it doesn't ruin the picture or the assignment by the child not being able to space it correctly. So it just...
I have so many kids that do, like I said, I have older, kids who are in the 4th or 5th grade whose handwriting is really kind of messy. And when it comes to a sheet that doesn't have the line, or it's just a bottom line, and then it just kind of ends up like it goes off to the side. It's all over the place.
The turning.
So that's really nice because then it neatens up their work.
Yeah.
And then they feel more successful.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Can I give a bonus one? Because it's newer, but it's not related to handwriting.
Okay.
It's on the blog, but if you use any of the tapes, really, but I put putting it on index cards for kids to cut.
Oh,
so cool. It gives, like, the dotted line is where the intended line you want them to cut on, but then it's really easy to gauge if they're meeting their benchmarks, if they stay within the boundaries. So, and
because the benchmarks are very often like cuts within 1/4 of an inch. Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah. So it was a fun new way that another guy that I collaborated with, he does the hungry cutters. And so he did that. I was like,
always looking for ways to very easily track progress because OTs are so busy. Totally. And teachers too. Like everybody's, obviously doing 8 things at once, and to write a note to the parent usually and get the child back to their room. And then you want to also write down how they did. So that's such an easy, simple way.
That was a fun one that it's good.
Very cool. Okay. So our giveaway is you can find it on MissJamieOT.com right now, and the giveaway is good until April 24th. So you can enter until April 24th at midnight, and then winners will be announced on the 25th. So Megan and I are going to be randomly picking 4 people. Doesn't matter if you're a parent, a teacher. You can enter as many email addresses as you want, but each email address will count as one entry. So you could enter your email address like 12 times, but you still get one. Sorry. So there's also on the blog where the 6 ways to use WooTape and the spot where you can enter the giveaway. There are a link where you can read the rules of what the giveaway are, but they're pretty much just what I said. So enter by the 24th. Make sure you enter now. Don't procrastinate, you guys, because this is a cool giveaway. Yeah, this is a cool giveaway, and like $50 to the WooTape store, you can basically get anything you want, and you're set for a really long time because those rolls are pretty thick, right?
Yeah.
And then as a therapist, you can even probably make some things to send home for parents. As parents,
awesome.
You're set with your child having neat handwriting and neat name writing on their sheets forever.
Pretty much.
And then I love the cutting activities too. That's such a great idea. Like, I love the progress tracking. I'm all about it.
Totally.
Awesome. Okay, so just going to check quickly to see if we have any other questions. We have someone who said, my kids in self-contained rooms always drew boxes on the writing lines. I do that too. The thing is, it takes a really long time. And if you have, many children that need accommodations, then, you don't, you're one teacher and you don't want to spend your time doing that. Of course you will because your child needs it. But if you have something that's so simple that you could just put it on and then, photocopy it that way, like, great.
Yeah.
I love things that are a shortcut. Shortcuts are the best. Definitely. Because who has time, right? Take a shortcut if you got one.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for new ideas.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Megan, for
You're
meeting with me and for
welcome.
doing this giveaway. I'm so happy that we had an opportunity to give back to OTs, PTs, teachers, parents in the community. People are so just stressed out, and I just love an idea. Like, I love to just be able to kind of take everybody's mind off something and give them a way to make things easier for their kids. That's my big passion, and I know it's important to you as well. So
yes.
I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me tonight and to answer all my questions. And
thank you for having me so much.
Yeah. Everybody out there, don't forget to enter the giveaway, and we'll be announcing our winners on the 25th. So
sounds fun. Can't wait to see.
Stay tuned. Bye, everybody.
Bye.